So just doing a bit of work on the laser harp, dnar from Photonlexicon, Wayne. We've been sort of working on the code and optimizing it a heap. He's done a lot of optimization on it, and he's also added some really cool features like individual channels per note. So just going to do a quick video on some of that. I've got Ableton Live here. I've got three, I suppose they're called tracks set up, and they're all on channels 1 through to 4. So on channel 1 is the first note bank, channel 2 is the second, third, and then fourth is the on and off opening notes, opening and closing notes. So I don't have any gloves, so I just use bits of paper to play it with. Works better when you've got something that reflects the light. So I've got the harp down here, a little crappy MIDI, USB MIDI thing down there. LCD. And the LED indicates the note banks. It's a red, green, blue LED. We're actually working on red, green and blue beams, so you'll be actually be able to change the colour of the beams depending on the note bank and whether the note's playing and all that sort of stuff. So the sensor down here, it's a bit dark, I know. Fog machine there. Had to run separate power for the fog machine because it kept killing my MIDI controller. Alright, so it's still actually fairly bright in here, and I've tuned the sensor in really well, so it works pretty well now. So if we hit the open button, you can see the opening animation's a lot smoother now. It doesn't sort of stop just before it's fully opened, blank for a minute and then come back. It just stays there. 10 beams, that'll be adjustable as well, so you'll be able to have as many as you like. I prefer 10 because you've sort of got a bit of room to get your hands between the beams. If you had any more than this, you'd probably want to increase your scan angle or face this down and bounce it off a mirror further down the stage. Otherwise you'll keep hitting notes side by side. Fog machine. Yeah, too much fog keeps triggering it. No, get out. Just unplug that. Doesn't do that again. Alright. So just start with one piece of paper now. Just a bit of fog in here. And get out. Yeah, just start with one bit of paper. This is on note bank 1. And now it actually sends the MIDI note off command, so if you hold this here, it doesn't send any more repeat commands. It just leaves the note on. So then if you want, you can have 2 bits of paper. Do this here. 2 bits of paper. You can play 2 notes at the same time. Got the sensitivity up a bit high here. It's triggering on the fog still. So now, if I hit this button here, the LED changes to green. Now it's on a different note bank. So now you can have a different sound. yeah, really you can put any sound effect you like on this, since it's just a MIDI device. Change the note bank again to the third one. LED goes blue, and I've got to set on some drum kit. So once we program the red, green and blue beams, you can set each individual string to any colour you want to help maybe memorize them, or so you know different octaves, different notes, whatever you want. So and you could also have it so when you hit a beam it changes colour. So you could have that beam changing to white, red, yellow, whatever. The thing with that though is you're going to need a laser of sort of the equivalent brightness of this. Because if you hit one of these beams and it changes to red and suddenly your red's a lot darker, it won't trigger the sensor properly. So you can see the sensor down there, you can see the green reflection when I trigger a note. That's actually a reflection, not an LED. So if you have different colours in this, you're going to want a laser that sort of equivalent brightness, like equivalent perceived brightness. Otherwise it won't trigger it properly. You can also have individual channels for individual notes. So for example, I could have a kick drum on here and then have a synth on this note here, like I had on channel 2. And then I could have a drum, oops, closed it, yeah, hit the wrong button. Yeah, that's pretty much it. See, I've only got these little tiny push buttons on the top of the harp that I have to sort of hit with my foot. So if you're going to play this on stage or whatever, you'd have 2 foot switches, so it was easy to quickly change. But yeah. Anyway, do a bit more work on this code and then we'll be able to release it to the people that already have the laser harps. There are a few little hardware modifications you might need to make, but it's just changing out a few resistors. It's not like replacing entire chips and changing traces or anything like that. It's better if you build the kit yourself. Pretty much anyone can do it. Those delays are adjustable as well, so you can sort of configure how long it takes to open and close, as well as how long the beam stays there. Yeah, thanks for watching.